Vikaksha. So in today's session, we are going to see a very interesting topic called as exploratory data analysis. And we are going to use R as a programming language in order to perform this exploratory data analysis. So what is basically exploratory data analysis? So whenever the data is given to us, we first try to identify whether there are any NA values or inconsistent values or redundancy present in our data or not. If it is present, then obviously we have to deal with it, and then only we can go for the predictive analysis or anything that you want to perform on the data. So in today's session, we'll try to understand how to perform this exploratory data analysis using R. On this side, this is Prachi, a trainer at Unikaksha. So let's just have this wonderful journey of the topic called as exploratory data analysis. Let me just open my R Studio quickly. Okay, so here I'll quickly load the file. So this is the file with the name insurance. I don't want to change the name of the file. I'm keeping the heading as true, and I'm converting string into factor so that all the character type of variable will be automatically converted into factor format. I'll be loading this data. Let us just discuss this data quickly. So the data consists of age information, which ranges in between 15 to 65. Then the sex column consists of the value either male or female. BMI is a body mass index of a person, which ranges from 15 to 55. Children is how many children a person is having, from 0 to 5. Smoker helps us to understand whether the person smokes or not, having the value yes, no, that is true, false type of. Region consists of the value from which region the person belongs to. So it can be either southeast or southwest or northeast or northwest. And charges indicate the charges of the insurance. So we have to create some kind of exploratory data analysis on this data. We have to understand this data. So for that reason, let's again move back to our file. Let's quickly check the dimension of the data. So if you want to check the dimensions of the data, you can use this function called as dim and then pass the name of the data set of which you want to find out the dimension. So this indicates that there are 1338 rows and 7 columns associated with this data. If you want to display first few observations, then you can simply write head and the name of the file. So it will provide you the information about the first few things that are, or the first few, 6 observations in the data by default. If you want first 10 observations, then I can write head insurance, comma 10. So it will print first 10 observation like this. So it's printing the first 10 observations in this way. Okay. Similarly, if you simply type tail, and then if you pass this insurance, comma 10, it will provide you the information about the last 10 people. Now, if you want to get the information of someone in between, for example, I want to know the information about the rows in between 30 to 40, then in that case, you can simply write the name of the data set. Suppose that is insurance. It's a data frame, so bidimensional. So here we will write the rows that I want to fetch. Suppose I want to fetch the row from 30 to 40. And in the column part, I'll not write nothing. I'll not write anything, which indicates that I want to fetch all the columns, but only for the specified rows. That is nothing but the rows in between 30 to 40. So you can see the output. This is the output of the rows in between 30 to 40. If you want to extract certain column, then in that case, you can simply write like this, say insurance. Here, I want, suppose say the row from 30 to 40. Why I'm not writing all the rows on the console? Because it will unnecessarily flood the console. And here, suppose I want to fetch certain columns, say age, and I want the another column as smoker. Then I'll simply write the names of this column. Instead of names, you can specify their index. So age is at index 1 and smoker is as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th index. So you can write 1, 5 as well over here. Why we are using the C? Because C stands for the concatenation function. As we are importing more than one column, that's why we have used that concatenation function over there. Okay, so if you simply write like this, then it will again provide you the information of the rows in between 30 to 40, but this time only for the 2 columns, that is nothing but age and smoker column. So this is basically how you can identify the certain rows and certain columns. Now, if suppose the question is given that fetch records having smoker is equal to yes, that means basically we want to fetch the records of only smokers. Then how to write such type of queries? Then I can write smoker values or smoker, I'll write simply the smoker is equal to, from which data set I want to create the subset. So I want to create the subset from the data set that is insurance. So I'll make sure that I'm writing the name of that. Then I'll mention this condition that insurance dollar, the value of smoker has to be yes. So we just have to check, or we just have to confirm in the data that whether it is written in small case or uppercase, because this is case sensitive language. So unnecessarily we'll get an error. So again, there will be a lot of observations in the smoker category. So I'm simply writing head of smoker so that it will provide me proper the information of just first 6 rows, so that it will just help me to understand that yes, my query is running properly. Now suppose I want to find out smoker with gender is equal to female, then how to write that? Then in this case you have two conditions, that is you have to fetch records having smoker is equal to yes and gender is equal to female. In this case, you'll write something like this, smoker underscore F. This is just a name that I'm giving. If you want any other name to use, you can use this. Again, this is a subset taken from the insurance data, wherein insurance dollar smoker is equal to yes. And along with that, one more condition is given, that insurance dollar gender or sex in this case is equal to female. I just made a spelling error here. Yes. And now we can just check the head of the information. So it's first 6 observations which are female as well as they are smokers. So you can add as many conditions as you want. Suppose the question is fetch records of people working in northeast, southeast and southwest. So in the column that is region, we have this northeast, southeast, northwest and southwest. So this is a question that you have to identify people who are not working, actually who are located. That would be the correct word. In northeast, southeast and southwest. So how to write the query for this? In this case, if the person belongs to either northeast or southwest, if any of the condition is true, you have to fetch the record. So we are going to use or condition over here, because if we use and, then and has a constraint that if both the conditions are true, then only the output is fetched. So that's why we cannot use and, we have to use or over here. So I can say that say location is equal to subset. This subset is again generated on insurance, wherein the value of insurance dollar region is equal to, it can be either northeast or the value of insurance dollar region is equal to, suppose say the next one is southeast, or the value of insurance dollar region is equal to southwest. So this is how you can write. And if you simply want to know that what is the data for this location column, location data set. So there are 1013 observations which are either living in northeast or southwest or southeast. So if we are finding the people who are either living in northeast, southeast or southwest, that means you are trying to fetch the record of people who are not located in northwest. because these are the only 4 regions that are given. So if you want record from either of the 3 regions, that means you don't want a record of Northwest. That's basically what's the another meaning of this question. So we can say that location underscore 1 is equal to subset generated from the insurance data set such that the value of insurance dollar region should not be equal to Northeast. So I just run this, and if you want, I can just check the dimension of this location underscore 1. So these are the people who are not working or who are not located at the Northeast location. So this is basically, we have extracted the information from the given data. So this is basically how you can fetch the records, or this is basically how you can use and or not type of queries in order to create the subsets on the data. So this is basically, we have created using the subsets using this subset query. Now suppose if someone asks you to find out the average of charges column, so we can simply write like this, mean, and then I'll pass insurance dollar charges. So it provides me the value for average, that is 13270.42. Now if someone asks me to find out the average of charges with respect to sex column, that means what is the average charges for the women and men for the insurance, then in that case we can use aggregate function. So we have to find out the average of charges. So we'll write that numerical variable first. This charges has to be segregated or separated as per the column called as sex. So we are writing that on the right side. Both these columns comes from the data set, that is insurance. So we are passing that insurance data. And which function we are using over here? So we are using the function mean. So if you run this, you will come to know the average charges with respect to gender male and gender female. Now suppose you want to find out the average charges with respect to the person's smoking habit. So you can pass smoker over here. Data is equal to insurance. And again, I'll write function is equal to mean. So these are the average charges for non-smokers, and these are the average charges for the smoker. Similarly, if you want to find out charges with respect to smoker and gender together, then you can write like this. Pass the data is equal to insurance and function is equal to mean. So you'll get the cross products such as smoker no, gender female, then these are the average charges. Smoker yes, gender female, then the average charges is 3068678. Smoker no and male gender, then average charge is 8087, and smoker yes, male gender is 33042. So this is basically how you can generate the information. If you want, you can add one more factor, that is nothing but region. So that will provide you even more depth in the result. So there are 2 possibilities for smoker, there are 2 possibilities for gender, and there are 4 possibilities for region. So the total possibilities are 2 cross 2 cross 4. That is 16 total combinations are possible, and you are getting the averages for all of that 16 possible combinations. If you want to know the frequency of the observations with respect to, suppose say, smoking habit, then you can simply use this function called as table, and I can pass insurance dollar smoker. So it will provide me the information about what are the total number of people who are smokers and non-smokers. Similarly, if I want to find out the table of smoker with gender, so see this. So there are 547 total female who do not smoke. 517 males are not smoking. 115 females are smokers, and 159 males are smokers. So this is basically the information about the smokers with respect to gender. So similarly, you can get smoker with respect to region and so on. So all those combinations you might try. So this is how you can use the table function. If you want the answer in terms of proportion, you can store this result, and then you can simply use this function called as prop table, and then you can pass this value A. So you will get the information about the proportion of the people who are non-smokers and the proportion of the people who are smokers. Then if you want to arrange your data, or if you want to sort your data as per the ascending order of the charges. So suppose someone gives you the question that find top 5 and bottom 5 observations with respect to charges. That means the one who are having the highest charges and the one who are having the least charges. If that's the question, then in that case, we have to sort our data. So first we'll try to find out the top 5. Top 5 are nothing but the ones who are paying the highest amount of charges. So they will be the top 5. And bottom 5 are nothing but the 5 people who are paying the least charges. So first let us go for the top 5. For that, I need to order my data set. So my data set is insurance. Whenever you order, that time obviously the columns will not be changing. What change is just order query, that time the rows gets shuffled, and that's why we are writing the name of the table. The square bracket indicates that something we are shuffling the indices. That's why we wrote the square bracket. So I'm going to shuffle the index with respect to the column. Just a second, let me adjust the mic setting. Yep. So we are going to align this with respect to the column charges. So I'll write over here as insurance dollar charges. So this data is sorted now. If you want, you can check head of O1. So you will get the observations which are ordered in ascending order. So ascending order will show you the least charges at the top, and gradually the charges would increase. So I can simply write head of O1, comma 5. So that will produce me the bottom 5 observations, because here in this case, I arranged the data in ascending order. So the least observations appeared on the top. So here, if I simply want to perform the other way around, then I can write O2. And here I'll simply add one thing called as decreasing is equal to true. So if I write like this, then it will be the descending order sort. In this case, again, if I write head of O2 and comma 5, then it will provide me the the top 5. That is nothing but the people who are charging at its maximum extent. So those people you are able to identify using this technique of increasing and decreasing sorting. So this is, I suppose it's clear that what do we mean by this particular act. Now we want to check that is there any column which consists of missing value. So for that reason, I'm using this call sums. Inside that I'll pass is.na and then simply pass the name of dataset, that is insurance in this case. So is.na basically tries to check that whether there is any missing value or not. So it will return in true or false. And if the value is missing, it will return true, and call sums will find out column wise summation of the twos. So here all values are 0 indicates that there is no missing value in the columns which are given to us. Now suppose if I want to check whether there is any outlier or not in numerical columns. So first I need to check which are the numerical columns that are given. So for that reason, I'll take the help of dplyr. I'll first call the library dplyr. And here, I'll simply find out the numerical column. So I'll write numerical underscore variable is equal to selective. That's a function available inside, R. And then here I'll write insurance. That's nothing but name of data set. And I want to select if the answer of is.numeric is true. That means only numeric type of values will be selected. So if you are interested to check which are those columns selected over here, you can check head of numerical variable. And I just want to check the first observation. So age, BMI, children, and charges. These are the numerical variables selected by, this numerical underscore variable. But we know that out of that, children is going to be the factor type of variable because no one can have continuous children. I mean, the value of children cannot be 17, 16, 18.5 or something like that. It is fixed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. So that's basically the categorical type of data. It's not a numerical type of data. So I'll simply revise my code. I'll say that insurance $children. I'm making it as factor type of data. And then I'll run this again. So now you will come to know the proper number of numerical columns, that is age, BMI, and charges. Let's try to check the box plot for, you can either go for insurance or numerical variable. So first I'm checking the box plot for age. Let's just expand this. So there are no outliers over here. Let's generate the box plot for insurance $BMI now. There are few outliers towards the positive side if you closely look into this, right? And similarly, let's try to check the box plot for insurance $charges. So again, there are outliers present in this charges column in this case. A lot of outliers are present in this column. So we need to implement some method so that we can reduce the impact of outliers. So we'll say that if the outlier, let me just expand this to right, is positive, that is right hand side outlier, then replace that outlier using upper whisker. And if outlier is negative, then replace that with lower whisker. So for that reason, first we need to identify the upper whisker and lower whisker for all these three columns. In fact, two columns, because only BMI and charges is having the outlier issue. Otherwise, there is no outlier issue in this column. So first I'll try to find out the IQR for insurance BMI. It's capital. Yeah, this is the IQR, and let's check the values of percentile for this BMI data. Now we'll try to find out the upper whisker value, because only upper whisker is needed, because we found out that the outliers are present on the positive side only. So the formula for upper whisker is Q3 plus 1.5 times the value of IQR. So this is the value of Q3 plus 1.5 into the value of IQR that we have just calculated, which is 8.3975. So I'm just substituting that value over here. So this is the value of upper whisker. I will say that go to the insurance data, check for the BMI column. In this, if the value of BMI column is greater than upper whisker, then simply replace that value with upper whisker. And the same procedure we have to perform with the charges column. So I'm just copying this. I'll paste it over here. I'll simply replace this column by charges. And here, let us just check the value of IQR and quantile so that we can substitute those values. So the value of IQR is 11899. So here I substitute this value. And the value of Q3 is 16639. So here I'll substitute this value. Let's just run this. So the value generated for upper whisker over here is 34489. I will say that go to the charges column, check if the value of charges is greater than the upper whisker and replace them by the upper whisker. Done. So this is basically how we are going to replace the values of the outliers with the boundary values, that is nothing but the upper whisker values. We just check for the right hand side outlier because in the box plot is what it was clear that the outliers are present only on the right side. So I just hope this part is clear. Then if you simply want to check the correlation of the variables, so for that reason you can generate simply a CORMAT. Now correlation is present only in a numerical variable, so it's better to pass numerical variables only. Here if you simply want to check the value of correlation, you can simply call this CORMAT. Yeah, so these are the values of correlation of every variable with respect to other. All correlation seems to be moderate. There is no strong correlation as such present in any of the variable. Charges and ages having slightly moderate correlation as compared to that of the BMI and charges. So if you simply want to plot this, you can make use of a library, CORPLOT. And here you can simply use this CORPLOT function, pass this correlation matrix. Sorry. And along with this, you can pass method is equal to circle. And you can pass type is equal to upper or lower. So it will provide you a proper plot just for the lower side, because the upper side and lower side is going to be mirror image of each other, as the correlation of x on y and y on x is similar. So we just discussed that there exists a slight correlation age and charges that is visible. Age and BMI is not so visible because they are not sharing that much amount of correlation among each other. So this is basically how you can identify the correlation of the variable. Let's check few more plots for this data. So this is basically a kind of a plot. That's a plot of box plot itself, but in this case we are taking the gender variable. We are splitting our box plot of charges with respect to gender. So you can find out that the female are slightly having the lesser width as compared to that of the male, which indicates that the span of the female charges, I mean the female insurance holders charges, is smaller on an average with respect to that of the male ones. And the another one is nothing but the plot where we are plotting the BMI charges and we are giving those points because x and y axis will be taken with the help of BMI and charges, and the color of those points will be decided by the smoker variable. So if you simply run this and if you check how this plot looks like, then let me just zoom this plot. Here in this case, it's very visible that the people who are basically smoking, that is nothing but the green area points, you'll find out that their charges are on an average towards the higher side as compared to that of the non-smokers. With respect to BMI, as well as the BMI is increasing, the chances of you find the point in this blue particular section, the yes section, is also increasing. So that gives you the idea that the people who are smokers are generally having the very high charges as compared to the people who are non-smokers in this case. So we have identified almost the aggregate. We have aggregated the columns. We have checked their averages. We checked for the missing value. We checked for the upper whisker, lower whiskers correlation, and we checked few of the plots. So this is basically what we mean by the exploratory data analysis, using which we can try to understand what the data is trying to let us know. So that's it in this session. We have tried almost all the possible exploratory data analysis on the given data. In the next session, we'll try to take some new data sets on which we'll try to implement some more functionalities with respect to data. Till the time, thank you.